You'll have to excuse Abby's panting. She's a little worked up. She wanted to get into the river quite a bit. But not today. Heavy girl. E11A. That's pretty neat. I think there's another tank. I think it was on the other side of the town. We seen it the other night when me and Bree were on our way to Fredericton. That was a Maserati that just passed us that went by, that white car. I might be mistaken, but I don't know. just left Burton and Oromocto. Oromocto first and then Burton. It's quite a bridge. You get quite a view from up there. We're gonna head down the river to Jemseg. And this runs pretty close right along the St. John River. So we're on the opposite side now of what I had filmed before. This would be it'd be the north side of the river. Hear the air conditioning, but I gotta turn it on for Abby because it's a little bit warm, and we've done a couple walks, and she's a big Bernese mountain dog, and she gets a little warm from time to time, so we gotta make sure that we take care of her and we keep my girl cooled down. Nice little touch of color through the bushes. You can see the St. John River, and it's quite open underneath, like around the trees. I imagine it's through between the ice flow, and well, there's probably not a whole lot of ice flow in it. I could be mistaken. So I believe, it's salt water, but it could get to a point where it's relatively brackish. I'm not sure up here, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of ice. And a bit of swelling of the river when it comes time for that to break up. So I imagine that's probably why some of this section seems a little more open. What a lovely little drive down along the river. And it holds this all the way from Fredericton down to the town of Jemseg. And I was already in Oromocto, so I kinda thought I might as well just break it up and do a drive from Oromocto down to Jemseg, and maybe possibly I'll do a drive from the north side of Fredericton down to Oromocto, which will cover the previous section of this river. But it's something nice when in the spots where it does open up. But in order to get to follow the St. John River to St. John, you got to be on the south side of the river. On this side, once you hit Jemseg, it's going to start pushing you up and along, and you're going to move towards Moncton. And I'm not going towards Moncton yet. But in a few days, we're going to be covering some of that area, because we took the ferry over, and we're going to drive back. So we got a limited amount of time that we can do for the drive back, but we're going to cover what we can and show you as much as we can. But it's kind of neat being over here just shortly within a few hours of being on the other side of the river, and kind of seeing what I didn't get to see when I was on the road. But I'm kind kind of curious to see Gagetown. What a couple nice spots there. It was somewheres right along this stretch of highway. No, it was back further. It was before Oromocto. Me and my wife, before we were married, when we were kids, well, not kids, but when we were living over here going to university, before we were actually dating. But we had been best friends since like grade 6, so we'd known each other for a long time. But we actually got on a really bad car accident on this stretch of highway just back before Oromocto. It may have been on this stretch. All I know is that we got taken to Oromocto Hospital. And it was horrible, but I remember it was on a section just like this. And an elderly lady, yeah, she backed out of the driveway into oncoming traffic, and we had cars behind us, and we were the lead car, and she backed out, and there wasn't time for nothing. There was barely time for Bria to hit the brakes, and that's why you never back into roadways. But it was it was bad, like, and I know it shook her up for a while. And then they tried to sue us. But it's hard to sue people when you back out into roadway, especially a 90-kilometer-an-hour roadway. But that's my last memory of driving on this road down this stretch of the north side of the river. Kind of as beautiful as it is, it's, I don't know, it's it's bringing back kind of funny feelings. Nice little drive though. Approaching what's known as McGowan's Corner. We're going to proceed straight through and continue on our way to Jemseg. It's nice to kind of knock this out today and be able to keep my battery for when we travel home. I'll be able to pick up a little bit further away from Fredericton than this and not be jostling batteries all the way home trying to charge and film and recharge and film and recharge, and it makes for, pardon me, hiccup. it makes for a little bit of a long journey when you gotta stop every now and then for a 20 or 30-minute recharge. I think Abby gets sick and tired of doing that many walks. I mean, after all, she is a 110-pound dog. Jeez, that was weird. That horse was laying right. The horse was standing and another one was laying. I hope everything was alright with him. I've never ever seen a horse laying flat on its side with its legs out away from its body. I don't know if that's natural or I hope I didn't just see something bad. Or I hope the horse wasn't in trouble. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be going back this route, and when I get by there, I think I'm gonna stop and just not do anything drastic, but I think I'm just gonna make sure, kind of ease my own curiosity. I always thought that horses kind of bedded down and kept their legs kind of under them. But I don't know, I'm not a horse person. I could be being very ignorant right now and not because I don't know. It just seemed very strange how that horse was laying. There's a lot of weight right on just its ribs. So we just passed the sign saying we're in Jemseg. Although I still seem to be, like on the GPS, I'm still quite a ways away from it, to be honest with you. It only seems that I'm about halfway to it, but it must have been a district line or a county line or something, maybe. another big bridge. I believe that's for one of the major highways, possibly the Trans-Canada. I believe it is the Trans-Canada. I guess I'm just surprised that it's not like full of, there's not more alders and stuff there down between the road and the river. Like, it's just leading me to think that there's been ice flow or swelling of the river that kind of keeps that from happening. So it's not going to let me go further. I don't know. Okay, yeah, dead end. Well, that's a shame. It shows that that road connects all the way to the town, but it obviously doesn't, so so we've had to reroute. We had to do a U-turn. The road that I was going to continue on, that's a dead end. I would say that they've got construction going on a bridge, and the bridge that takes you from where I was to Jemseg is not connected anymore. So we're gonna hop on the Trans-Canada because, well, I said I was going to Jemseg and I'm going to Jemseg, so we're on the Trans-Canada, and we'll catch up again when we get off of this. So we've made it to Jemseg, and I'm kind of curious. I want to see what has blocked. Trying to see what blocked us off. I got a feeling that it's the heavy. So this is Jemseg, and I would say you're going to get to see both sides of her. Lower Jemseg. So they got a ferry crossing. That's pretty neat. So down in here, this would be okay. I was very much kind of on the right idea, but if you can see that dirt road, that was supposed to be the road that I was going to follow all the way into Jemseg. So the road obviously changes into not safe for bigger vehicles, but just glad that I got a full tank before I came on this little jaunt. I would say at one point in time, all of that connected together. But it just doesn't anymore. But I am kind of curious to see how far it goes before it turns around. Like if I actually could have made it to like pretty much where I wanted to see. The main thing that I wanted to see was the river and cross the river there just before Jemseg. I know it's not like a big town or a big metropolis or whatever, but I am just kind of curious to see what if it's blocked or if it just turns into a dirt road that's not really what you'd want to travel on. But So it is a blocked off. And it really don't go that much further. It looked like a continuing connecting road, but you can see it's all grown up, and they, I would say at one point in time, thought about repairing it and then just decided against it, I would say. But now my curiosity has been satisfied, I guess. I really thought there'd be something to. I was really hoping for that nice bridge crossing and a view of the river, but it is what it is. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you very much. I'm sorry that it didn't turn out to a more eventful ending, but maybe we'll do that on the next one. But for today, that's it. Thank you very much. And I appreciate you very much. Enjoy your day. Don't waste it.